Так. Не слишком громко? Ага, понятно, у меня мышка уезжает на другой экран. Замечательно. Всё, больше не уезжает? Не, больше не уезжает. Уж сигареты. Куда мы едем? М.
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that.
Многое из этого укажется
I'm just gonna
бессмысленным, и
start
я
at the
прошу за это
beginning
прощения.
with
Я просто
the
хочу начать
house.
всё с самого начала, с дома. Чё так быстро? Короче, я жила тут 13 лет, а дальше мне ничего не понятно. Окейси.
I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms.
Я думаю, читать не обязательно, да? Там. Тут в небе всё пишут. Тут всё подсвечивается. Какие милые
Inside the
перчатки.
mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
7-летней давности с пометкой «Срочно». Ну, мы, конечно, смотреть не будем. А газету? Как мало действий.
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
О, со дня похорон моего брата. Упс, простите, буковки. Тут ведется видеосъемка, окей. А можно прыгнуть? Нельзя.
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked.
Отлично, у нас есть ключ,
Maybe
но
she thought I'd
что он
know,
открывает, непонятно.
or she thought the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
Детектив-игра, ну, наверное, нам ее посоветовал многоуважаемый Бескрыл и подарил ее. Жалко, что его, конечно, сейчас нет на стриме. Он очень хотел ему посмотреть. Так. Вниз? Или поверху хочу? Типа и так приближает. Да, привет, Вузу.
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
Несколько отпечатков копыт. А тут, хочешь сказать, тут могла проехать машина? Я сомневаюсь. О, олень! Привет. Я не иду, нет. Ну ладно.
The truth
Смерть
is,
оленем.
even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
А если бы я пошла другой дорогой? Нет, я хочу обратно. Мне интересно, что будет, если я пойду другой дорогой. Сейчас, секундочку, меня немножечко триггерит от того, что у меня слева на экране захватывает мышку периодически. Но это из-за того, что на другом мониторе. Близко слишком окно. Не сегодня, Лиз. Not today. Not today. Там вон то дерево, да? Так. Как мы быстро идем? Ну, нельзя пробежать. Я могу, интересно, туда просто пойти? Или мне запретят? Не спрашивайте, зачем я вообще куда-то иду туда, но мне просто интересно, сколько возможностей в этой игре. Кто-то пропал. Мальчик пропал. Наверное, наш брат. Змеймен, здравствуй. Блин, по воде ходить нельзя. Вот. Тут тоже развилка. Я думаю, тут не существует. Ой, тут зловещая музыка. Какая-то.
The woods around the house have always been uncomfortably silent. As if they're about to say something but never do.
Неуютная тишина, значит. Ну да, там сверху помилее был, конечно, проход. Ты же не Иисус. Черт, привет, Оксай. Чё, раз к нам вернулся?
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
Да, дом, конечно, безумный. Там ну, о, можно наконец нормально посмотреть. Почему я... Это что, живот? Я что, жирная, что ли? А чё я жирная? Не хочу быть жирной. Фу, у меня живот. Или... Мелтон Финч пропал. Кушать. Я ничего не могу ударить. Мне не нравятся игры, где я не могу ничего ударить. Ничего посмотреть, ничего открыть. Это скучно. Ладно, пойдемте дальше. Стрелись, ты никуда не денешься.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. Because a vision softly creeping.
Я запомнила тебя.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were.
Тебе 17, и у тебя такой же там живот. Ты меня пугаешь, а не этот дом. Больше. Ух ты, тут трещинка. А, то есть я сверхразум сразу нашла вход? Как ты, жирная, вообще пролезла туда? Так, давай пока обратно. А чё, обратно? Ладно.
The power had been turned off the night we left.
Порченный собачий корм. Порченное пиво. Угу. Велики совсем не заржавели.
For the first time in years,
Вор.
I felt like I was home.
Я чувствую себя дома. Да, родители у тебя любили винишко.
But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
Ну, все эти люди. Что-то потряслось. Эй.
Like how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot.
Ну иди сюда. Спасибо большое, Аршанский. Спасибо огромное за подарочные спасибки. Ну иди сюда. Да, это эффектно, конечно.
Or how after Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
Тут же можно было что-то посмотреть, или это было про лосося? Ну ладно. Во, какие активные сейчас лапки. Вот так вот всегда бы было. Тут был
The
енот.
table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
Странное представление. Тут вообще просто разбита одна тарелка. Окей. Видимо, твой брат. Окей. Кажется, за столько лет от цветов вообще ничего не могло остаться. Ау. Рар. Докер Стим! Докер Стим, 7-й месяц. Спасибо тебе большое за ресап. Спасибо, что остаешься с нами и поддерживаешь канал. Спасибо огромное. Спасибо.
My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
Что, бабушку в дом престарелых сдали? Молодцы.
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
Ну, пока что дом выглядит ничего так.
Even the
Возможно...
fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house after it sank.
Первого затонувшего дома. Слушайте, ну вы неплохо 7 лет назад жили, я вам так скажу. Че, просто уехали, все оставили? А чего вы просто уехали и все оставили? О, господи. Это ж я. У меня, видимо, был склероз. Только не говорите, что эти твари все водятся здесь. Особенно вот это вот зузалиц. Таких я очень боюсь. Хотя не, вот это, наверное, поопаснее будет. Да, в реальной жизни этот дом бы уже вынесли 10 раз. Даже если бы он был проклят. Мы даже не упаковали ничего. Или мы все распаковали, я понять не могу.
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
Теперь я заинтригована, что... Зачем? Чё? Пен?
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
Ребенок где-нибудь в библиотеке? Ну... Что, там кто-то был или мне показалось? Господи, мне показалось, что там кто-то есть. Там впереди. Я ж чуть не сиканула. Панда, привет. Так. Все громыхает. О, Господи. Сломалась? А, нет.
Great Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
Барбара Финч. И фильм про какого-то йети. Ну, тут 3 мальчика. Сколько было детей в итоге?
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
С ноги вынеси. Это вообще приехала в этот дом. Ну, это тоже явно не та дверь. Тебя можно открыть? Нет, нельзя. Ну-ка, можно поиграть в шкатулку. Пузом протарань. Ага. Ща, подожди. Валидол, Витя, здравствуй. Она еще ножками дрыгает.
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
Что тут происходит? Так, сюда мы еще зайдем. Что-то на самом деле крипово. Это, видимо, моя комната, да? Молли.
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947.
Она умерла, серьезно? После смерти каждого ребенка эту комнату заколачивали? Больные ублюдки, что ли? Сумасшедшие какие-то. Мне вообще как крипово. Эта игра точно не хоррор?
The last time I was in Edith Senior's room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait.
Но она тоже умерла, да? Ну да, тут по годам они явно не жили. Кельвин. 11 лет.
My grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin.
Жорж, 1
As a
год.
kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of.
Тут кто-то умер и заколачивали двери. Ёп. Где тут? Почему я не могу отсюда уйти? Мне не нравится, это неприятно.
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
Хоть винишко бы отправили. О, Барбара.
Barbara was a child star for 2 years, until America grew out of it.
Окей. Давайте счетчик насчет офигеваний. Я что-то от всего офигеваю.
Mom must have locked the 3rd floor stairs on the night we left.
И что нам делать?
Edie's father Odin built the original house.
А, там же еще комната была открытая. Блин, не, ну так прикольный домик. Очень уютно, я бы даже сказала. Мне нравится гостиная. Люблю большие окна в домах. Какая-то даже пила с рисунком. И камины — это круто.
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room.
Двоюродный дедушка Уолтер. У вас вообще огромная семья?
I
Sure.
think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
Она жалела, что не заперла ее.
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
О, вот и ключ.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
Чего же так боялась твоя мама? Нет! Чёрт!
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
Милтон был умнее тебя.
Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door.
Надеюсь, не труп.
Just like I had no idea where all this was going.
2 месяца это меньше, чем 3.
Спасибо большое. Микрофон, спасибо большое. Спасибо большое за второй месяц. Спасибо за продление. Ты с нами уже 2 месяца. 2 месяца — это очень важно. Спасибо огромное. Типа хоррор? Да не, нифига это не хоррор. Ну, типа... Это не должен быть хоррор. Какой-то сова-свисток. Можно взять? Нет, нельзя.
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
У хомяка был целый дом. А я все еще жирная.
Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
Молли была исследовательницей. Молли Финч.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
Только не говори, что я съел хомяка.
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it. Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
Что я такого натворил-то? Тыкву сожги. Можно тыкву
My
пожевать?
Halloween candy was all gone.
Нефиг жрать столько сладкого. Надо иметь припасы шоколадок. Вот у меня куча шоколадок. Давай рыбку съедим.
I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
Ну да, он у тебя в пузике плавал. У нас в кровати ничего нету, там под подушкой. Психологический хоррор. Дай плакать начну уже. Ой, я слишком низко.
I kept
Съедим
eating
пасту.
and eating.
Бля.
I ate a lot of things that night.
Даже искусственные ягоды.
Then I heard chirping outside my window.
Птичка.
It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly,
Я стала кошкой! Мяу! Мяу!
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Мне нравится.
Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
Это ее гнездышко, наверное. Мяу. Мяу.
I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired.
Я уже устала. Как мне туда?
Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up,
Нет, нет.
and suddenly I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind.
Воу.
Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass. Rabbits.
Где? Дерево! Ау. Я плохая сова. Рейд!
Здравствуйте.
Мчи-мчи, привет! Я зайку поймала. Привет и спасибо большое за 5-й месяц. Спасибо за ресапчик.
See mine through my
Ой, я съела зайца?
I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit.
Нифига, какая я большая сова.
Find something bigger.
В смысле, куда больше зайца-то? Ты такую крольчатину-то съела.
A mama rabbit.
Большая зайчиха. Мама зайчиха. Мам зайчиха, иди сюда. Блин, я
She
что
was
сейчас...
almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
Блин, ну вот это вообще не очень хороший Этот неприятный вообще поворот. Блин, это, наверное, больно. Почему я качу?
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever. I wanted fat, juicy seals.
Да, вкусный тюлень.
I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
Я вижу его кровь. Я сделаю ему кусь.
Grabbed on tight. But I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
Фу, я тентакля. Что я такое? Вау.
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere.
Фу, я мерзкая штука, поиграй с ней.
I was big, but I moved real quiet. I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
Do it in drunken sailor early in the morning. Морская штука. И, короче, такая штука. Привет!
After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And across the
Что-то
water, I
новое.
smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it.
Эмулятор шланга.
I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
Что дальше? Годзилла? Не знаю. По-моему, мы в туалете. Мы у себя
I
в
got
туалете.
closer and closer. All my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
Бррр. Охренеть.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have. I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here before my mom sealed the doors.
Там киса.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, She was the one who named it Molly. I
Ты
spent
что
a lot
хочешь?
of time in Great Grandma Edie's room.
Подождите. Что ты хочешь? Вот ты пришел ко мне, и что ты хочешь? Мне что-то кот хочет, сейчас подойду. Я тут. Я кот заинтересовал, у него какая-то черная штука на подбородке. Вот болячки какие-то, надо будет ветеринару съесть. Короче, хотела рассказать. Когда я была маленькая, у меня у подруги была серьезно хранить все клетки от всех птиц. Боже, как это упорото от змей.
Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him.
О.
One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
Короче, была игрушка такая, хоррор. Суть игры была в чем? Типа, ты играешь за сестру, которая ищет свою сестру-близняшку. Единственное твое оружие — это фотоаппарат. То есть, чтобы тебя не сожрал призрак, ты должен его сфотографировать. Я не помню, как она называлась. Она была на вторую плойку. Феномен, привет. И суть в том, что в начале игры была такая, типа, пасхалка. Если в одном месте стоять, долго-долго стоять и афкашить, то вылезала страшная морда. Пока я отходила, думала, может, к вам что-нибудь
I
тоже
hadn't
вылезет.
thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time. When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
О,
Her room was like a museum.
кстати, наш дом в разрезе.
For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
Богатство и несчастье. Всё по новой. Аж мурашки.
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
О, какой-то сейф.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Нормальный такой коврик в ванной.
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the
Кей,
pink
первая
bathroom.
жена дедушки Сэма, оставила в доме один единственный след —
It was a
розовую
pretty
ванную.
big trace.
Кей. Вы понимаете, о чем я?
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Я не хочу туда пока лезть. Видимо, у меня нет выбора. Там была еще дверь. Спасибо за фоллоу.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Там дверь. О, наконец-то мы можем вылезти. Все, сваливаем. Черт. Можем отсюда свалить. Ладно. Блин, чатик, походу, устал, 6 часов общался. Ну, есть же те, кто только пришел. Не, ну вы задавайте вопросы, будем с вами болтать. Просто тут игра, видите, всякая тут странная. Артхауса немного. Милтон. Дал тут свой знак. Хм. Типа отгородил свою часть комнаты.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom, and he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again, and he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready! Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it.
Да ладно.
I told him going around was impossible.
Маша, делай солнышко.
Maybe if I hadn't said that.
Calvin! I'm not gonna tell you again!
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up.
Ох,
Then
Даш.
maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind.
Да ладно.
That's what I want to remember about my brother.
Етить. Воу! Воу! Воу!
The day he made up his mind.
Воу!
And he did.
Да, ощущение, что сама качаюсь.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing. After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Офигеть, дом с загадками. Охренеть.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Она упомянула про свой живот, кстати.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
Уже какая-то недобрая музыка.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
Я бы хотела в таком отшельничать. Ну, не знаю. Меня пугает все это немного. Фу, сгнивший пирог. Сигареты. Голые мужики.
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent. She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
Твою мать! Ну, наконец-то
The
бит.
gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
Блять.
Old Finch rattled and grew still.
Ненавижу хорроры. Игры. Бля. Это не страшно.
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
Какой... Там же его не видно? А, ну я просто не знаю, я обычно не читаю. Ну, типа то, что, ну... Простые диалоги, все понятно. Блять.
Walter vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And he was. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully. She thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it.
Да куда отсюда можно выйти-то?
Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
Чего? Где? Куда он делся?
Had vanished. She listened for his breathing, but all she heard was... At the door, she heard whispering.
Подожди, нет. Ладно.
It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true. Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box was all they ever found of her. Her ear.
Её ухо?
Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Ухохочешься. Какая же жесть. Фу. Бррр.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Вау.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Ну что ж, теперь в подвал. Спасибо за фоллоу. Игротопис. Да, прикольно, мне нравится. Крутим. О, вот и ключ. Выглядит так, как будто мне здесь не рады.
Mom said the basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
Как будто кто-то пробежался.
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
Whoa.
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories, I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane.
Лапа в чат, кто живой? Катаны. Ну, интересная игруха, согласитесь. Как за историей наблюдаешь.
Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow. But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything.
Что ж такое-то?
Even a monster on the other side of the door.
А, я понял,
starts
как
to feel
открывать.
lonely.
Я.
Almost friendly.
Каждый день
And
есть
then one day,
абрикосы.
everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can.
Так, ага. Офигеть, тут бункер.
I know it's out there somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly. And Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me. Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left, or a month, or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Unlucky, Уолтер,
Walter died when I
unlucky.
was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
Его поезд сбил.
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
See the sun. Yeah.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes
Да он
she made.
какил.
Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe two,
Так я все-таки не
I
жирная.
thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
Стоп, но тут же не может ездить поезд. Или на деревьях,
I don't
отлично.
know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of.
Мы топиться идем? Нет? Жаль. Я знала, что это не жирно.
Though,
Дайте
to be honest,
порофилить.
I feel as lost as you probably do right now.
Я, кстати, я же к Хасли заходил, говорил, чтобы он тебе манюнь карты обхват. Не надо, Клифф. Тут как бы не он должен мне помочь, а это я должна ему написать, когда у меня будет свободное время.
What that's worth.
Прикольные фонарики. Красиво. Люблю вживую такие места. Неспокойные. Это 2 раза суицид. Это такая грустная история. Мне страшно, что будет дальше. Окей.
And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible. I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
Там
It's
кладбище.
embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one. Three of the gerbils are mine, and 2 had been my fault. Sven built the house, but it was Edith who designed the cemetery. I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away.
Чешки за ушком, пожалуйста. Вот так, спасибо.
She could see it poking out of the water at low tide.
Юрпи, зупи, лурпи. Ну да.
Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night. Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better. She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us. We never found Milton's body, so my mom insisted we were putting up a monument, not a tombstone. There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself.
Зашел на меня посмотреть. Спасибо, мы тут немножечко офигеваем.
But looking back on it now,
Я думал, надо назад оглянуться.
if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Взгляни вокруг, оглянись назад. Оглянись,
I
оглянись.
never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense. Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
Каков? Даже не знаю. Дураков нет.
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
Это киса. Киса, это уже. Фильмик нельзя дергать. Окей, Сэм, расскажи свою. Told me.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged.
What?
Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are. Hey!
That's a keeper.
I'm
Very
just
much
saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad.
You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Dawn, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph?
По-моему, рыба прикольно висит.
Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish, how to build a fire.
Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn.
Лень!
Before we
Аккумулятор
take the shot,
хипстера,
let me get a
ага.
picture of it.
Dad, I...
Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong.
Вау!
Great
Хороший.
shot, Dawn!
Вау!
I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
Damn! Holy shit!
Sorry, Dawn, just gotta reset the timer. Hang on, kiddo. Just trying to get a shot of the two of us together.
А, вот что надо сделать.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally
so-
normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about.
Оу! Это
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my
жестко.
mom had told me.
историй. Найтмарчик, привет. Жутковато.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet.
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom, were the words that I now pronounce you.
Не нужна нам какая-то новая мать.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger. The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent. The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made.
Офигеть.
The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
Опс. Опс. Что-то я
I wish that I
накосячила.
could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
Oops.
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus. My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
Сейчас я подойду, ребят. Чё-то прямо вообще... Да, типа тут все умирали, какое-то семейное проклятие. Я подойду. Так, ну что?
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Всё? Видимо, это слишком рано. Чёрт, опять залезать наверх. Альшанский все правильно написал. Эренджи, здравствуй.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Lewis was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. And to see kids in the house again. The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal.
Ничего себе, школа внутри дома.
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings. I think Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family.
Вау.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush. I was 4 when Milton disappeared. Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Как грустно. Черт, все, обходить. Да, строитель тут, конечно, найсовывает точно. Слушайте, интересно, нас так игра ведет. Мы вышли, и мы не заметили подъема наверх, пока не пришли в там дом. Ну, я бы хотела разочек
Mom
пройтись.
definitely blamed Edie,
Да.
but I think Lewis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room until Mom got him a job at the cannery. Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Луис в теме.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Ooh.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse.
Whoa.
Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to...
Его разум. Илья! Спасибо, уже 2 месяца прошло. Что с моим разумом?
Wonder.
Странствовать. Эть! Илья, спасибо большое за ресап, спасибо за поддержку. Интересно.
I asked him to describe it.
Тихо. Что происходит? Я не могу делать 2 дела одновременно.
He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about.
Эть.
Then something moved.
Тихо! Тихо! Спокойно!
Bats. And toads.
И жабы.
And things that have not names.
Все из-за
He knew it was all
травки?
in his head.
О, рыба.
But he took
Спокойно.
it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself.
Мне надоело.
But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on.
Где я там неправильно пошла-то?
I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Louis Topia.
Заставляет меня рыбу рубить.
He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians.
Вот он просто залипал в ММО.
And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination.
Он создал игру. Ага.
He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won.
Отсылочки к
They
Марио.
begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him.
Офигеть. Вот это интересно.
He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville.
Нью-Йорк.
St. Louis.
Сент-Луис.
He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home
Minneapolis.
from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on. In Louisburg, he heard
Конечно.
rumors of a
Прекрасный принц или прекрасная принцесса? Пускай будет принцесса.
handsome queen.
Спасибо, что игра толерантна к меньшинствам.
The queen was on her own quest for
Губительных змеев.
sinister serpents.
На всякий случай.
He followed the sound of her
Серебряная арфа и электрическая гитара. Давайте арфу. Хочу арфу.
silver harp.
Минуту домой, Маш, рабочий день.
His chase led him to a golden
Теперь убрать
palace
рыбку сейчас,
east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound.
Эй, стой,
He
леди!
knew the world was all in his imagination.
Да ну... Слишком много рыбы, леди.
but he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming.
Я себя так же чувствую, когда Ведьмака проходила.
The real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace.
Рыбы охеревают такие в стране.
My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him. He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
Даже
including
кися.
the wise Calico who'd insisted on inviting him.
Мудрый Каджит.
His queen waited, holding his crown.
Блин, надо было, короче, принца выбирать.
There was only one thing left to do.
Бля, меня еще казнят. Сика.
And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him. On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder.
Так, дверь откройся.
I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night. That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning, okay?
Кто-то был?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. For a while, I wandered. I started seeing things. things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is.
О,
This
господи.
tunnel was supposed to be for you.
Ах, это не то, о чем я
And I hope
думаю.
you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way.
Это самый мерзкий момент в
This is where
игре.
your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Это неприятно. А, это типа настоящая история? Или нет? А, нет. Это или настоящий? Нет. Все мы оттуда. А. М. Где плакать? Плакать нужно было 3 минуты назад. Фак. Ну, бывают и более грустные истории. Ну, можно проникнуться главной героиней, а потом окажется, что главная героиня не главная героиня, а что это типа там это ребенок, и все так грустно, да, и вот такое вот бывает. Ну, блин. Спасибо. Я более грустные истории в играх видела. Более сложные выборы и более душераздирающие моменты. Я не хейчу игру, я просто говорю, что, ну, как бы... Каждый по-разному реагирует, у всех разные понятия о том, от чего грустить. История интересная, да, много смертей. Я, например, тоже не плакала и не грустила, просто с удовольствием посмотрела историю. Нет, история клевая. Теперь есть возможность повторить историю, чтобы начать с самого начала. Выберите Эдит. Не выбирается. Типа можно заново повторить историю, что? Ну, например, Last of June, по-моему, ну так эта игра называлась. Там я прослезилась именно в момент этого, когда там пожилой дедушка к могиле приходил. Вот там я прям в слезы упала. Я запомнила, как Маша убила ребенка. British Academy Games Awards Best Game 2017. Заебаться ощущение, что ты так пришел в конце стрима, и я тебе могу сказать одно, что я вникала в суть истории, просто если тебя как-то задела игра, и ты расчувствовался и прочувствовал все, то, например, для меня данная история — это не повод грустить, да, потому что я проходила кучу игр, и были игры с более грустными концовками, да. Не знаю, мне в Walking Dead больше плакать хотелось, когда Ли умер. Нет, точнее, я разрыдалась в Walking Dead на моменте, когда во 2 сезоне был флешбэк на Ли. Вот там я рыдала как сучка. Вот реально как сучка сидела и рыдала.